that dismissal. Keep going, Gemma. Doing a great job in this over. Keep going.
Georgia was just taking her guard there, doing a bit of gardening and giving herself some time to face the next ball from Teresa Graves, who's coming in now. Full length delivery, just pushed into the offside for a single. So Georgia Elwes gets herself off strike straight away. Score is 45 for 2.
Just looking at Georgia Elwes, because she's been injured, hasn't she? So she's sort of back in the Vipers side for the first time for a little while this year. Had 3 innings in the Rachel Hayhoe Trophy, 55 runs she scored so far in that.
Groves in again. Again, a good length delivery. Very similar shot to the last one, just pushed out into the covers to extra cover for an easy single. That moves Georgia Adams on to...
I'm in your way.
20.
You watch Gemma there, she's having to sort of crane her neck past me to have a look at the scoreboard to her left. So I'll sit back a little bit, Gemma.
And Teresa come in for her final delivery of the over. Again, a good length ball, carbon copy, pushed into the cover region for another single. And I think that ends her over. So that's a good over for Lightning, not too many off it, and the wicket of Maya Bouchier. Vipers are 47 for 2 off 9.
Great commentary debut, that one, Gemma. I know you've been doing summarising. You did the summarising at the final at Edgbaston last year, but I know it's the first time you've done an over. You can do an over soon again. The 2 batswomen out. Danny Wyatt scored 4 off just 4 deliveries. Maya Bouchier, we've just seen go, made 13 off 20 deliveries. 5 boundaries hit by the Vipers so far in the first 9 overs. So 11 to do.
Bowling from the castle end, number 3, Sonia Odedra.
Sonia Odedra then returns. 1 over for 14. She was expensive, wasn't she, when she bowled from this park end, commentary end. She's going to try her luck at the far end with her right arm medium pace. So it's got quite a long run up actually, isn't she, for
the medium pace?
Yeah, for the medium pace with the keeper standing up, but sort of floated the ball up there a little bit in the first over. Maybe a little bit different this time as Elwes pushes forward and he can take a quick single. That's nice running as it was to the left of the cover fielder there. That's good running. I like Georgia Elwes. Good batter. Obviously, as I say, didn't see her last year because she was injured, but she makes a huge difference. As if the Vipers needed a huge difference with their batting lineup, but she does. She strengthens it even more, doesn't she?
She absolutely does, and a bowling option as well that they've used in the 50 over.
Wickets last week, which was a bit overshadowed by Charlie Dean's 5 wickets up at Edgbaston. Drive by Adams up towards mid-on, fielded by Pye. Takes the Vipers on to 49 for 2. In the 10th over, 3 for 16 off the top of my head, but nobody really's mentioned that. It was all about Charlie Dean's 5 for 19. As Odedra comes in again and bowls, it's on the pads and it's just struck Elwes on those pads as the ball makes its way out down towards fine leg. That will be signalled leg buys by the umpire at the far end. 50 up for the Vipers. That's come up in the 10th over.
Yeah, we had
Chris Watts is the umpire at the far end,
We had Charlie Dean taking 5 for and Lauren Bell going for almost nothing, wasn't it?
Yes, that's true, yeah. That's pulled away by Adams. 1 bounce to the fielder at mid-wicket. It's Kirsty Gordon. Almost got through. I saw Chris Watts actually yesterday at the GS Bowl. He got in the lift with me actually, and I was just trying to work out where I'd seen him before. He's from Norfolk. Here's Odedra again then. Bowling into Adams. Almost yorked, my word. She had to get the bat down quickly and the ball just about avoided going underneath. That was a great yorker.
That was a great ball and well played in the end. Not the easiest delivery to conquer, but yeah, she got the bat down and kept out of trouble.
He was. Don't hit balls like that very far. You just make sure you keep them out, which Adams did as Odedra bowls. It's a length ball and Adams missed out. Hits on the pad. Called through for a single by Elwes. That's good calling. Because Adams didn't know where that ball had gone, but she trusted her partner.
She did, yeah. Good strong call. She obviously has confidence in her partner and got her head down and got to the other end.
So 50 runs off the first 10 overs, so we're halfway through the Vipers' innings for the loss of 2 wickets. I would say that's probably slightly below what the Vipers would have expected.
I would say, yeah, they were, what were they, 30 or 5 or something like that? Or 33?
29.
29 or 5, so yeah, it has slowed down a bit. Obviously
51, sorry.
losing another wicket of Maya Bouchier slows things down again, but there's still time left, there's still wickets in hand, so we'll get to be in for a good 10 overs here.
Sure. Do you want to do this over?
Okay.
So I sprung that on you, or do you want an overs warning?
No, I'll go for it.
Go for it, Gemma.
Once
Go
more.
for it.
From the park end, number 48, Nancy Harmon.
So we've got Nancy Harmon into the attack for the first time. She's bowling to Georgia Adams. She comes in, that's an over-pitch delivery, which is going to go for a 1 bounce 4 straight down the ground. That's a lovely strike.
Ooh, that was a good shot. Bowling leg breaks is Harmon. It was in the slot.
It was in the slot, it was floated up, and Georgia Adams decided not to have a sighter of this bowler and hit through the line.
Didn't waste any time at all.
No.
She's 21 years of age, Harmon.
It's coming in again, over the wicket.
Shot.
That's a great shot. She's moved her feet to that, so not quite as full, but Georgia Adams turned it into a fuller delivery by moving down the wicket, and she has hit that through long off for another 4. 8 off the over, 8 off 2 balls. They move to 59.
She's not letting Harmon settle. Harmon's a former Sussex player, so probably played in the same
Probably
team
knows,
as
probably
Adams.
netted with her.
She probably knows
a
what.
lot.
That's why she's going after it now, because she knows her. She knows what she's going to bowl. Probably knows it's not turning. Well, she doesn't turn it, because it doesn't. Looking at those 2 shots, the ball isn't turning.
Comes in over the wicket. That's a better length. Slightly back of the length. Georgia Adams pulls that, not with any conviction really, but gets an easy single to mid-wicket.
Almost carried to Gordon as well, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah.
one of those shots where it wasn't on the ground, it wasn't in the air, it was,
One of those
almost
in-betweens.
asking to be caught.
So Georgia Elwes is facing Nancy Harmon for the first time. She comes in and bowls. That's a very full, and Georgia Elwes has just sort of pushed that out to backward point, or sorry, just in front of point for a single.
I like that shot as well, just waited for it.
Yeah.
Just waited, let it bounce, played it late, like that.
So 10 off the over so far, 2 balls to come. Nancy Harmon's coming in. Oh, she's dragged that one straight down, and that's got what it deserves. So that was a half tracker that Georgia Adams didn't need any encouragement to pull to the boundary, split the 2 fielders that are riding the boundary on the leg side, but hit with good timing and didn't trouble them at all.
I don't know what she was trying to do there, whether she was trying to bowl a different ball, but that was horribly dragged
Yes.
down, wasn't it?
She comes in for her final ball, and Georgia Adams just pushes that into extra cover. They're thinking about a 2, they're going for it. Little misfield, put pressure on the field. That's good running. So that's 12, 13, 14, 16 off the over. I've done the maths, I haven't looked at the board. 67 for 2 off 11. Georgia Adams is on 37 and Georgia Elwes on 4.
Yeah, 16 off that over. That's more like it,
That's
Gemma,
better.
isn't it? From a Vipers point of view, you
Yeah.
expect, with the Vipers, you kind of expect a certain standard now, don't you? That's, it's no disrespect from the other teams, but I think a lot of these sides that play against the Vipers, they know that they're playing against one of the top sides, if not the top side. So, you expect the Vipers almost every game now. You turn up and you watch them, or you listen to them, or you watch them on the stream, or whatever you're doing. You kind of expect them to be dominant, but they haven't always been in this game so far. But
No, but that over was a great example. There were 3 sort of poorer deliveries that all got put away for 4, and the 3 better deliveries, the Vipers were able to just turn them into singles. And that's the sign of a really good side. To put away the bad balls, keep the scoreboard ticking over on the good balls.
now, who have we got at the far end? Are we carrying on? No, we're not carrying on with... Oh, we might be Odedra.
That's Odedra,
Yeah, we are, yeah. She's bowled 2 overs, none for 17 with a right-arm medium pace. Come in again, and that's wide. Oh, that's lovely. Steered down towards third man with an open bat from Georgia Elwes. That was quite deliberate, and that's really, really well played. Super shot. And complete control. Used the pace of the ball. Just opened the face of the bat to find the gap. And that was well past Abigail Freeborn's left hand. She's fielding a backward point. The Vipers move on to 71 in the 12th. And Elwes moves on to 8. There's Odedra again then in the sunshine here at Arundel, and she's found the gap through mid-wicket this time, but there is a sweeper, so that's just a single. 73 for 2 here, the Vipers. Just obviously with the flag is in our sort of eye line, isn't it, of the castle, which is just above the trees as we watch Odedra bowl. And did I hear a story a couple of months ago or something? Wasn't there? Did somebody steal something from the castle?
Did they?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I'm sure it was a story on Saturday. No, wrapped on the pad. Oh, she's got a wicket, and it's Adams that's gone. Trying to flick that away on the leg side. She got wrapped on the pad, and the umpire's put his finger up, and Adams goes for 37, and the Vipers lose their 3rd wicket with a score on 72. Just trying to whip away a straight one there, Gemma.
Yeah, it looked like she played all round that. Umpire gave that quite quickly. It looked like one of the easier decisions maybe that he would have to make.
So a 1st wicket for Sonia Odedra.
Georgia Adams, LBW to Sonia Odedra for 37.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw a story where some treasures was taken out of the castle.
Some treasure.
Yeah, well, something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was. They've got some display. Charlie Dean, star with the ball last week. Got a chance to star with a bat this week. Sure, there was something on display. The castle had only just opened after the restrictions, and within a few days, something had been stolen. I'll try and look. Yeah, Arundel Castle theft. 3rd of June. There we are. Insurers have offered a substantial reward. I have no idea if there was some artifacts stolen. A set of gold rosary beads carried by Mary Queen of Scots at her execution in 1587. That's right, it was taken during a break-in on the 21st of May. I knew it was something pretty significant.
So was it a break-in during closing hours rather than...
I don't know, I probably need to read the article even more, but I remember seeing it on Saturday on BBC television. Here's Odedra then, bowling to Charlie Dean. And Dean is off the mark as she steers that next ball through square leg, and there is a gap there, and the Vipers move on to 73 for 3. Yeah, 1587 these beads. I take it they still haven't been recovered. Yeah, the rosary beads were carried by Mary as she was led to her death. Yeah. Pretty significant.
Yeah, come up on eBay later.
Yeah. Here's Odedra then. Bowls to Elwis. Full. Elwis works that on the onside, out towards deep mid-wicket. They run the first one quickly. Oh, and Charlie Dean's going for it. No, says Georgia Elwis. Fortunately, the ball is thrown at the bowler's end. Charlie Dean was off.
She was, wasn't she? Didn't look like there was a second run there. I'd have to agree with Georgia Elwis on that one. But,
I think you're right. I think we were all surprised that Charlie Dean just took off. Vipers move on to 74 for 3 now in the 12th. Again, beautiful sunshine. All the dark clouds that were here when we arrived have virtually all disappeared. It's a totally different day. As Odedra bowls and Elwis whips that away quite hard up towards... Sorry, that's Charlie Dean, isn't it? Whips that hard up to mid-on. And I think she's going to keep the strike. Yes, she is. So 12 overs gone here in the sunshine. And the Vipers are 75 for 3. Do you want to do the next over?
Okay.
You're still getting over the fact that those beads were stolen at the castle. It's a lovely castle. Those that have been here, and if you've seen pictures, it's a beautiful castle. I've never actually been there. It's one of those places I keep meaning to. It's only 45 minutes down the road from me. 50 minutes.
Off the park end. Number 21, Teresa Graves.
So we've got Teresa Graves back into the attack from the park end.
2 overs, 1 for 7. Picked up the wicket.
Picked up the wicket of Maya Boucher. And she will be bowling to Charlie Dean once she's organised her field. So right on medium pace coming in over the wicket. And that's a full-length ball but down the leg side. Keeper takes that nicely actually. Stood up to the stump, so that's a wide for the first ball.
I mentioned the umpire at the far end, Chris Watts. At this near end is Sophie McClelland.
Okay, Graves is in again and bowls length ball, which is pushed into the offside, and they take what I would consider a fairly dodgy run. Ball went to the wrong end again.
I mean, Charlie Dean nearly stuffed Elvis out of sight.
Yeah, Georgia Elvis had to put in the dive there at the striking end, which she did. But I think there was an easier run-out option at the bowler's end. But
Freeborn, the fielder.
that would have needed a direct hit. So that didn't look a confident run.
Well, it was straight at her at extra
It
cover,
was.
and Dean took off again. She's like a rabbit in the headlights here, Gemma.
Right, we've got Georgia Elvis on strike now. In comes Graves. And that's a full delivery that is just pushed to mid-wicket, no run.
Happy to say Charlie Dean didn't take off on that occasion.
2 runs off this over so far. In comes Graves. And that is a full toss that has been pushed up to mid-off, no run. It's quite a low full toss. They're quite hard to get away sometimes.
They always go on the bottom of the bat, don't they?
Yeah. You kind of think, oh, full toss, you've missed out, but the low ones are...
There's a full toss and a full toss.
Yes. Graves coming in again to Elvis. It's a good length ball. She's whipped that. She's got a bit of an edge on that. It's gone just behind square on the leg side for a single. Score moves on to 77 for 3 in this 13th over. So we've got Charlie Dean on strike again. Oh, they're just pushing long on back. Who are they bringing up? They're bringing up backward square fine leg into the circle and pushing long on out to the ropes.
Good move.
I'll tell you after this ball. She's coming into bowl, and she's just tickled that down past the fielder that's just come in, but it is only a single. Tickled that down to leg side for a run or a leg bite off the pads, that one.
I found that. I tell you why I asked that is because I mean, it's early days in Dean's innings.
You haven't seen her hit down the ground? No.
Not anywhere near it, and yet
No.
a little flick shot earlier on in your innings is the easier one, isn't it?
Bowler coming in, and that's a length delivery that's just been pushed behind point, backward a point for a single. That's the end of the over, and the score is on 80 off 13. Georgia Elvis on 12 and Charlie Dean on 3.
The other game going on in this group, in the Charlotte Edwards Trophy, is South East Stars against Central Sparks down at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. Central Sparks have been bowled out again, this time for 117 in the 19th over. So you'll remember last week they were bowled out by the Vipers for 83, and they've been bowled out for a second time. Some game actually being bowled out in T20 cricket, but they've managed it twice in 2 games now. England women are playing India women in the 3rd one-day international. That's at New Road, Worcester. They had a few problems with rain there, didn't they? But they got it away.
Number 24, Kirsty Gordon.
Kirsty Gordon back into the attack for the Lightning at the Castle end. Gordon's first 2 overs costing just 11. England women 219 all out. They've been bowled out in the last over. It's a 47 overs a side game there. There's a reverse sweep there from Dean. Gets wrapped on the pad and she's got to face Elvis. Elvis has gone. Went for the reverse sweep first ball and she goes for 12, and the Vipers have lost their 4th wicket now with a score on 80. Right call?
What do you mean for
In terms of the shot
shot?
selection.
It's one of those shots, isn't it? It's do or die. It comes off and you get an applaud. It doesn't, and you sort of say, "What did you play that for?" So it's it's a risky shot. She weighed up the risk reward, but it wasn't to be on this time. We've got number 7 coming in now, which is Paige Scofield. She's joining Charlie Dean. She had a few injury doubts, I think, at the start of the season. Missed a few games for the Vipers.
Yeah, she's just coming back from injury, isn't she? She missed. Well, she only played one of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy games. That was against Lightning at the Aegeus Bowl towards the end of May, and she picked up 38 not out towards the end of the innings. She was batting 6 in that one as well. Didn't play the next 3, and then came back for the T20 game last week, but of course was one of many Vipers batters who didn't actually get in after that easy victory. So it means Emily Windsor's dropped down to number 7. Just seen her with her pads on, so if you're an Emily Windsor fan, stand by because she's next in, I think, although Tara Norris has got the pads on as well. As that's a drive, thick edge, outside edge from Paige Scofield, which was in the air momentarily through point. But Abigail Freeborn just a few yards away from that one, otherwise Scofield would have gone first up. She's off the mark, 81 for 4 in the 14th here. As Charlie Dean surveys the field in front of her and behind her. She's on 3. She's going to be facing Gordon from that far end, and Dean just works that very fine on the leg side. There should be 2 here because Dean's quite quick between the stumps. Again, like that last few yards, she just has an extra gear there. She might be a rabbit in the headlines at times, but she's very quick between the wickets, Gemma.
That can be an issue, though. I know where people, when you're that quick and you back yourself, I know the other way that you don't back yourself and you don't end up in those situations.
Length ball there, and Dean was just trying to give herself a little bit of room initially. The ball followed her and she realised that she could do no more than just play it back to the bowler. Just looking at that tea hut behind us again. There was some lovely sausage rolls there earlier, Gemma, which I thought one of those has got my name on. That's down the leg side. They're appealing for a catch behind. Probably just flicked the pad because it hasn't been called a wide. And I think actually umpire Watts at that far end was just patting his leg as if to say it just flicked the pad. So I'm not calling it a wide. Score remains on 83 for 4. Yeah, those sausage rolls. When I got a cup of coffee earlier, I thought I've got to have one of those before I disappear. Here comes Gordon again, and that's cut away by Dean, but only as far as extra cover. Couldn't find the gap. Was trying to hit it a little bit more to fielder's left hand. Couldn't find it, and that's the end of the over. 14 gone here, 6 to do. 83 for 4. I mean, wickets aren't really an issue for the Vipers here, Gemma, I don't think. But what sort of score should they be looking for here?
I think they'll be looking for something around the 130 mark, 130 plus.
Yep.
I would say. I think anything below 130 they'll feel they've undersold themselves.
130, pretty good score in this T20.
I would say 130 is probably about par here for these two sides.
Teresa Graves to continue from this commentary end. She'll be bowling her last over. 1 for 11. Good figures from her so far. She'll want to keep that going in her last over, her 4th. As that's whipped away on the leg side by Paige Scofield. Runs the first one quickly. Going to take the throw on. Scofield's just getting a little hurry up there for the last few yards, and she's comfortably home. Good running. Applause from... I think, well, I was looking at the Lightning dugout. I say dugout, they're under a gazebo. They were applauding. They were obviously applauding the fielding. The Vipers were applauding the running. So, got a good round of applause all round. Yeah, everybody, you're right. As Graves bowls, and that's driven on the up by Scofield, but only as far as extra cover. It's quite interesting there. There's a matting, isn't there? I just noticed it, actually, around that area where...
What, would that just be covering an area of sort of concern? Because you often see them on a whole strip, don't you?
Yeah.
But that's just...
The square itself doesn't look that wet, but there must be that bit there that is. That's a full delivery, which is guided in front of point by Scofield into the gap. Again, there's a fielder out sweeping. So it's just a single. And Scofield moves on to 4. 86 for 4, the Vipers in the 15th over. Field scatters a little bit more now for Charlie Dean, who's on 5. Batters out so far, Wyatt for 4, Boucher for 13, Adams for 37. And Elwes for 12.
They've just done the same thing again. Brought long on back.
Interesting. They must know something we don't. There's a little ramp shot which has gone over the keeper, down towards the boundary, won't go all the way, and she'll come back for 2. Throw goes to our near end, actually, the far end for the fielder. Interesting shot, that one.
Yeah, no, it must be something in their matchups because it's Teresa Graves to Charlie Dean again, and they've done the same thing. Like you say, there's nothing to back that move up that we've
No.
seen in this game, but obviously there's something that they know
Yeah.
from previous games.
Well, now they're changing it, which is probably, well, as we've been saying, probably a few balls later than we thought, because Dean has never looked to hit the ball up the ground. In fact, if anything, she's been looking to steer it behind the wicket, and now they've reinforced that with a short third man. As Graves comes in again and bowls to Dean. Dean pulls that hard towards mid-wicket, amazingly through which way the fielder had been. Freeborn runs round from deep mid-wicket, and that'll be 2 to the Vipers total. And they move on to 90 for 4, and Dean moves on to 9.
Long on's still here. We couldn't see her over the hill,
That's Pye.
so they've still got a long on. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so well reinforced on that leg side, but only in front of square as Graves bowls. And that cut away by Dean out into the deep in the covers. Throw keeper's ends. That's Sarah Bryce. That's the end of the over. That's 15 overs done, 5 to do here at Arundel.
Teresa Graves, final bowling analysis.
Here's the
4
bowling
overs,
analysis.
9 dot balls, 1 for 19.
Good spell that, Gemma.
That's a good spell. You take that in T20 any day.
Yeah.
Picking up the wicket of Maya Boucher in that as well as the a good economy rate.
Yeah, it's well under 5s.
Yeah.
Which is good. Nancy Harmon's bowled the 1 over for 16. She's comfortably the most expensive. We may not see her again because Lightning have used 6 bowlers. Do you want to do this one?
Okay. We've got Kirsty Gordon coming in for her 4th. She's bowling left arm round the wicket, and that is just pushed off the back foot into the offside by Charlie Dean for a comfortable single.
You were saying earlier about you thought about 130, and I was saying, well, you know, is that a half decent total? I was looking at the game last night, Sunrisers against the Northern Diamonds. Diamonds chasing 116 to win, did that comfortably in the 17th.
Kirsty Gordon coming in. That's a good length ball, just steered down fine leg again for a fairly comfortable single. They're very quick between the wickets. All of this Vipers side, they all seem to have a lot of pace between the wickets, which is really important in T20, more so than any other format. Kirsty Gordon coming in again to Charlie Dean, and she's reverse swept that. She's hit that really well. It's going, yeah, that's going to go all the way. That's 4 runs down to third man.
Great shot, but again, it's Charlie Dean hitting behind
Yeah.
the wicket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where she's looking to score the majority of her runs. So again, they sort of respond, isn't it? It's almost reactive field placings here by Lightning,
Yeah,
plugging that gap, but it's after it's actually happened.
exactly. And that long one's still yet to be introduced. Kirsty Gordon coming in to Charlie Dean, and this one is worked on the leg side. There's a big gap there. There's 2 fielders there on the rope, and they've run really well there to push that for 2. That was nothing more than a little tuck on the leg side, and they've got home for 2 there. So that's really good running. As I say, that leg side field is pushed back, so she weighted that shot really well.
Super running.
Kirsty Gordon coming in, and that is a full toss which has been driven for no run down to mid-off. Again, it's one of those low full tosses, those difficult to do much with that other than sort of push it back straight.
Just watching the crowd away to our left, and there's some family playing cricket there beyond the boundary.
And this has been swept, it's been hit on the pad, there's an appeal there, and the umpire is unmoved. And that's the end of the over. Vipers are on 99 off 16.
8 runs off that one. Yeah, just looking at that family at the far end, you know, that sort of that gap between the trees. Got an
4
analysis here.
overs, 11 dot balls,
Got half the analysis anyway.
1 for 22.
We got there. We got there in the end.
Kirsty Gordon, 4 overs, 1 for 22. So again, very honourable economy rate and picking up the wicket as well.
That's for sure. Yeah, the suspense was killing me there.
Yeah.
It actually built that up quite nicely. Actually, but yeah, isn't it nice to see? I love that, and there was a couple playing football there as well, just in front of them as well. Just nice to see. Just a lovely atmosphere
And
here
change of bowling from
at Arundel
the
Castle
captain,
Cricket
number
Club.
17, Catherine Bryce.
So Catherine Bryce, who opened the bowling for Lightning, with 2 overs, 1 for 3. Good figures from her so far. And Paul Scofield was trying to weather on the onside. Call through by Dean. That's a great call. Inside edge onto the pad, which went out on the offside. But Charlie Dean, all she was thinking about was getting down the other end and completing a single. And that should be the Vipers 100, I think.
It is. Yeah, 100
Which has
up
been
in
missed.
the 17th.
There it is, 100. And there is a smattering of applause. As Bryce comes in again then and bowls to Dean. Dean goes for the slog sweep on the onside. Goes out to deep mid-wicket. And that'll be a single. Michaela Kirk doing the fielding there and immediately gets handed a water bottle. Amazing, isn't it? You run 3 or 4 yards, throw the ball in and it warrants a drink of water.
Hard life.
Here comes Bryce, bowls. And Scofield drives strongly, but only up to mid-off. She's going to take a single. Throw comes in, the bowler's end. She'd been gone. Throw just missing the stumps. Otherwise, Scofield was a goner. 102 for 4 now, the Vipers there. Trying to score runs now at every opportunity. That was Sonia Odedra with a throw there. Dean in the air, but safe as it goes through point. Struck off the front foot. Looks for 2, but the throw's coming into Sarah Bryce behind the stumps. And the Vipers move on to 103 for 4. Dean has 19 now. And Paige Scofield has 7. Emily Windsor waiting patiently to come in next. Comes in again. Bowls. That's a slower ball. And it's in the air just over mid-wicket. Just. Scofield went through with a shot. She was committed and just kept going just as well. Just had enough on it to take it over mid-wicket and they'll complete 2. Charlie Dean just acknowledging the running between the wickets there to Scofield with a thumbs up.
Yeah,
105 for 4.
Certainly squeezed every run out of this inning so far, haven't they?
They certainly are. Catherine Bryce, right arm medium pacer with the keeper standing up, comes in again and bowls to Scofield. Full. Scofield just guides that with an open face into the gap on the offside off the front foot. Again, the fielder sweeping on the far side, picks up, throws it in, and that is 17 overs gone. Yep.
Yep.
And the Vipers are 106 for 4. 7 runs off that one, so we've got 18 balls left of the Vipers innings. They're bowling an absolute nightmare. They'll be batting the full 20. It's now just a matter of scoring as many as possible. You thought about 130, Gemma, didn't you? So 24, that would give them.
I think 130 minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
130 plus.
So Bryce has bowled 3 overs, 1 for 10. Good figures from her. Sophie Munro, I think, is probably coming back. She opened up 2 overs, none for 10. Odedra's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 25. Kirsty Gordon bowled out 4 overs, 1 for 22. Teresa Graves has bowled out 4 overs, 1 for 19. Nancy Harmon, just that one expensive over for 16.
Returning from the castle end, Sophie Munro.
Yeah, it had to be, didn't it?
Yeah, a bit of pace coming back as well. She was the quicker of the 2 openers.
Yeah. Just 19 years of age, Sophie Munro. Got a few more years of this women's regional cricket to go, and of course, as I mentioned, in the 100s competition as well. So lots to look forward to. She's going to be bowling to Charlie Dean, bowling from that far end, the castle end, right arm. And so it's Paige Scofield. It hits it in the air, but it bounces well short of the fielder at deep mid on. That's Pye, I think, down there.
Yeah, she
Comes
picked
in
that up.
quickly.
Got rid of that ball quickly, kept it down to a single.
That's what it's all about, Gemma, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ali? Just
get the
getting
ball
that
in
ball
there.
in, yeah. Letting the batter see that the ball is in the air coming to the stumps. Might not have a lot of pace on, but it immediately puts doubt in the batter's mind. Now, again, they've reinforced the field behind the wicket for Charlie Dean. They're putting a short third man as Munro bowls. Oh, it's a full toss down the leg side and gave the keeper absolutely no chance there. And that's going to be 4 wide shortly. Yep.
Yeah.
Umpire Watts signals. Horrible delivery there from Munro.
Yeah, there's nothing the keeper could do about that. Stood up.
Haven't seen too many wides actually today.
No, there was
Munro, that's her first one actually.
There was the one from Odedra that also went for 5 wides, but I think that
Yeah.
there's been maybe one other.
Bryce has bowled 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Graves has bowled one.
It's been pretty
Odedra bowled
disciplined.
one. Yeah, so this is only the fourth one actually. And they're usually tight, the umpires, aren't they, on the leg side, just like they are for the
Yeah.
men. Munro bowls, and Dean works that into the gap, wide of mid-on. They'll certainly pick up two. Again, Pye's quite quick, running round from mid-on. Deserved a round of applause. She's quite quick up there. You can see why she's doing the Dean mid-on fielding. 114 for 4 now, the Vipers. And Dean has moved on to 21. Scofield at the non-striker's end has 11. Munro again. Rolls to Dean, and it's full. It's a low full toss, but driven only as far as extra cover. Another one of those full tosses which always hits the bottom of the bat, Gemma.
Not the full toss you want.
No. You want it a bit higher than
Bit
that.
high, one that you can swing your
Yeah.
arms through.
So Munro at the top of mine. They've got to change the field again actually. Now they've got a deep
Fine legs
fine
going
leg with
back.
mid-on coming up. That's interesting. Pye's come up at mid-on there at the far end of the ground as Munro comes in again and bowls short, and it's balled away in the air but safe. One bounce to deep square leg. That's good. Oh, it's palmed over the boundary for 4. Well, the ball's travelling.
It was travelling, and she had to sort of take that, probably not the sort of bounce she wanted. It was coming up at sort of over her head.
Good strike from Charlie Dean. Moves on to 25. 118 for 4 now, the Vipers. Starting to post what looks to be a decent total here at Arundel. Chat now between the captain, Catherine Bryce, and the bowler.
They're bringing that fine leg up now and sending long on out again.
2 changes.
Oh, long on and long off.
Yeah.
And cover sweepers coming in as well. So cover sweeper and fine leg coming up, and the long on, long off have gone back on the rope.
Yeah, obviously Bryce asking the bowler to pitch the ball up
Yeah.
here. She doesn't want to be bowling a short ball with this field. It's slightly short. It's whipped away on the leg side by Dean. Gone out towards deep mid-wicket. Slower ball actually, or attempted slower ball there from Munro. Ball comes in to her. Dean moves on to 26. Useful little innings this from Charlie Dean. And she's second top scorer here behind Georgia Adams, who made 37. 119 for 4 in the 18th. And it brings Paige Scofield back onto the attack. Another Sussex lady.
Another
Well,
Horsham.
she'll be fine.
Yeah,
Is he Horsham, is he?
Horsham Cricket Club.
It's played out to extra cover off the back foot from Scofield. That'll be a single. But she would have played a bit of cricket here for Sussex women, I guess. Predominantly they play at Hove though, don't they?
Yes, they do now. I think she's been around a long time. I know I've sort of played against her at club level sort of 10 years ago. She must have been very young then.
Well, I was going to say, she's only 25 now, Gemma.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. You played against her when she was probably about 15.
Yep, would have done. It was about 10 years ago. We played them. It was 2012. We played them to win the championship, to go into the Premiership, and she was playing in that game. So yeah, she would have been 15, 16.
Now, I think we've got Bryce again, haven't we? Catherine Bryce, who's going to bowl out here.
Yeah.
Good figures, 3 overs, 1 for 10. Picked up the first wicket of Danny White, caught deep mid-wicket for 4. Score then was 10 for 1. That was in the 3rd over. And here she is then with a right-arm medium pace, bowling to Scofield, who whips it in the air, going to be caught mid-wicket. Just picked that up, and it was catchable height all the way through to Kirsty Gordon. Takes a simple catch about stomach height, and Scofield goes for 12. 120 for 5 now, the Vipers. Tame dismissal.
Yeah, again, just a little bit of lack of conviction in that. Bit of catching practice for Kirsty Gordon.
Yeah. So, is any winner? Yes, on Sunday, Women's International at Bristol, and yesterday it was announced that she's got a 100 contract with the Trent Rockets. Been a good week for her.
Absolutely.
Can she finish it off, Gemma?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's all good for her today. This week, so for today she can take all those positives. There's certainly going to be some pace between the wickets now with these two.
She's probably got the biggest cheer, actually, for anybody walking out. Yeah, 40 runs Scofield and Dean put on in 5 overs. As Windsor takes strike. This is a difficult time to come in now, isn't it? Try and stroke the ball around. Obviously got to give Dean the strike as much as possible. In 19th over. Here's Bryce to Windsor, bowls, and Windsor off the back foot, steers that up to extra cover. There's a misfield because Windsor was off. That would have been interesting had that been picked up.
Yep, she was gone, wasn't she? She was.
She was going.
She had her mindset.
Yeah. Actually, these two, the running between the wickets between these two could be interesting
That's what I
these
say,
last couple of overs.
It's going to be quick and fun,
yeah,
I think.
it will. Yeah, need to keep our eyes on it. Don't take our eyes off this because the running between the wickets could be as about as exciting as anything we've seen so far.
Emily Windsor's actually going to be playing with a lot of the girls on the Lightning side here when she plays for Trent Rockets.
Oh right, yeah. Bryce bowl, slower ball. There's a little ramp shot over sort of first slip really. That was quite deliberate. Opened the face of the bat, did Dean, but didn't really get much pace on that shot. She'll pick up a single, brings Windsor back on strike. 122 for 5, coming towards the end of the 19th.
Yeah, I think about half a dozen of the Lightning squad are in the Trent Rockets setup, so...
That's good for her.
Yeah.
She's moving up to Nottingham, isn't she, for the month. Yeah. Windsor drives. That's a pleasant shot through extra cover. Can't quite pierce the mid-off field, but that was a nice shot anyway. That was on the up. Just beat Abigail Freeborn's dive. Windsor doubles the score on to 2, 123 for 5. Vipers. Brings Dean back on strike. She's on 27. She's played nicely here. Charlie Dean. She's having a good tournament, isn't she? 5 wickets last week, runs this week. There's Bryce bowls and slog sweep up towards mid-on. Pye fields. Windsor's off! Windsor's off! As she runs to the danger end, and I think she's out. And Dean goes. And I think it's as much the fact that I don't think Charlie Dean was at any stage looking for 2, and Windsor almost caught her up. In the end, she's dived and hasn't made it.
No, I think Emily there thought that she was running to the danger end, so it was her call. She made it at her end, but the fielding side were aware enough to get the ball down to the other end quick enough to dismiss the diving Charlie Dean. That was a really useful contribution from Charlie there.
It was 28 she made, and that come off, I think, 24 balls. I'll get that confirmed in a moment, but disappointing for Charlie Dean.
We said the running was going to be interesting.
We did, and we weren't wrong. We weren't wrong there at all. I mean, that second run there, Windsor was virtually standing next to us saying, come on, come on!
So the left-handed Tara Norris is joining Emily Windsor at the crease.
Well, she gives it a bit of a crack, doesn't she? She doesn't hang back. So we're in the penultimate over here. A couple of wickets have fallen. Scofield and Charlie Dean. So here's Scofield went for 12, in case you're asking. Here's around the wicket actually to Norris. Drives an inside edge onto the pad. Dean calls her through. Windsor calls her through. And they will pick up a single. Yeah, inside edge onto the pad. So the run is given in favour of Norris, who will keep the strike. And we've got 1 over to do here in Arundel with the Vipers at 125 for 6. Your call of about 130. You're going to be far off here, Gemma. So for you then, anything over 130 is a bonus, yeah?
I don't know what I would have said at the start of the game, but certainly from 10 overs into this game, I thought 130 was sort of the target, and anything plus that is a bit of a bonus.
Well, in their first game, the Lightning, who lost to the South East Stars by 6 wickets, batted first and were bowled out for 107. So, if they are to win this game, they'll need to considerably better than they did at Trent Bridge last week.
Looks like Odedra's going to have the honours for the last over.
Bryce has bowled out then, 4 overs, 2 for 15. Stuff from Catherine.
To bowl the final over for the Lightning from the Castle End, Sonia Odedra.
3 overs, 1 for 25 for the 32-year-old.
She actually pulled that back from her first over, didn't she? It went for 14 or 15.
She did. She is going to be bowling to the left-hander Tara Norris, who's on 1. Emily Windsor at the non-striker's end is on 2. So 6 balls left of the Vipers' innings to try and score as many as they can here and put real pressure on the Lightning. Here comes Odedra with a right arm at medium pace. Bowls. Norris drives nicely up towards deep mid-on. Windsor's herring down the wicket here. She's running to the danger end. She won't mind that. Throw comes in. She was comfortably home. Very quick between the wickets.
So quick.
And that's a really, really good trait to have at this stage, isn't it, really? If you can turn nothing into ones and ones into twos, that's quite important when T20 cricket we know that winning margins are small. 127 for 6. Odedra comes in again and bowls to Norris. He's walking all round her crease. It's up in the air. It's over the short fine leg fielder. Won't go all the way to the rope, but they will pick up 2 more. And that's Abigail Freeborn running backwards towards us.
Yeah, the only time I don't appreciate Emily Windsor's pace is when I'm batting with her at club. That's when it frightens me.
I think it frightened a few people out there. I mean, she is very quick compared to some, isn't she? And unfortunately for Charlie Dean, that was her undoing. But she wasn't expecting 2 at that stage, was she? Odedra comes in again to Norris, drives, misses. Oh, and they're claiming for a caught behind, and she is edged it. That's a great take behind the stumps by Sarah Bryce. It was a full delivery. Norris pushing forward, finished at outside edges. Good take. Norris goes for 5, and the Vipers have lost 7 wickets here with a score on 129.
Yeah, she's kept wicket well all day, to be honest. She's had some great takes down the leg side. A few that have sort of flicked the pads and that, but she gets her name in the book for that one as it finds the outside edge.
Norris caught by Sarah Bryce off the bowling of Sonia Odedra for 5.
So we're sort of getting into the Vipers batting order that we don't often see now.
Yeah, we've got wicket-keeper
Carla Rudd.
Rudd.
Who was doing a bit of commentary I hear last night.
Yes, so apparently so for the Sunrisers.
Yeah. Apparently she asked Emily Windsor, she said, what do you do? I should imagine. I that's the bit of the conversation I heard, and I thought, well, actually, probably say talk is probably the best thing to say. Really. But she did ask Emily Windsor's advice. Now she'll be asking you. So we've got, by my reckoning, about 3 balls left of this innings. And Carla Rudd, who we very rarely see back now. She's a better player actually than number 9 suggests. And here she is facing Odedra, and that's down the leg side. She's trying to whip that away. That's another good take by Bryce, the keeper. I'm just seeing if Carla Rudd actually batted in the Rachel Hayhoe. Yes, she did. She made 10, batting at 9 against the Central Sparks in that game at Hove, which Vipers have to say were blown away a little bit there. She's tried to ramp that away on the leg side, misses it, and Bryce again does well. Always difficult when the batter's walking across the stumps and trying to ramp it. You're never quite sure where it's going to hit you in the face. Of course, she's got a helmet on, but did well there. So Rudd, 2 balls, and hasn't scored yet. And that's this time she does get a bat on that. Goes behind square on the leg side. Oh, they're going to run 2. Now that's good running.
Yeah,
that's super running by Rudd this time. She's running to the danger end. Now there was a slight mix-up between 2 fielders there, wasn't
I
there?
think there was, yeah. I know she had her head down, got herself down there, and there was nothing they could do in the end.
One of those was Nancy Harmon there in a bit of a mix-up. I think they were leaving it to each other, and there was just a moment there which allowed the batters to come through for a second run. 132 for 7. Here's Odedra, bowls to Rudd. I think this will be the last ball. It's a low full toss, and Rudd smacks that away on the onside. As she split the field, I think she might have done. No, not quite. It's fielded right on the boundary by Pye. Rudd picks up 2. Oh my word, she was going to run 3. What was she doing? The ball was in the bowler's hands. Windsor wasn't running there. She didn't face much of the strike there, Emily Windsor. And Vipers, at the end of 20 overs, finished with a score of 134 for 7. Carla Rudd, 4 not out. Emily Windsor, 2 not out. Is that enough, Gemma?
I think if our bowlers sort of step up as we know they can, say we've got the sort of natural wicket takers of Dean and Taylor, and the swing of Norris and the economy of Bell, if all of those things sort of come together today, I think that should be enough on the board. But it's I don't know which dressing room I'd rather be in at the minute. I think just the Vipers slightly.
So that is the end of the Vipers innings. Vipers innings. Just quickly go through the scorecard, and then we'll take a bit of a break. Top scorer Georgia Adams at the top of the innings with 37 of 38 deliveries. Charlotte Dean with 28 from 24. before she was run out going for a second. Emily Windsor 2 not out at the end, only faced 2 deliveries. Carla Rudd 4 not out on 3 deliveries. And the wicket takers for Lightning, Catherine Bryce 2 for 15 from her 4. Sonia Odedra 2 for 34 from her 4. And a wicket apiece for Kirsty Gordon and Teresa Graves. So 134 for 7 then, the Vipers. Join us in a few minutes' time when we will bring you the Lightning reply.
The bowling figures: Catherine Bryce, 4 overs, 11 dot balls, 2 for 15. Munro, 3 overs, 10 dot balls, 0 for 24. Odedra, 4 overs, 9 dot balls, 2 for 34. Gordon, 4 overs, 11 dot balls, 1 for 22. Graves, 4 overs, 9 dot balls, 1 for 19. And Harmon, 1 over, no dot balls, 0 for 16. An update from the other games going on around the country today, the women's games. In the one-day international at New Road, England were bowled out for 219 in 47 overs. Matt Siver scored 49 and Heather Knight.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. I'll message you, all right.
3 wickets for...
Sorry, I just got a message from Sam North East, actually, which was quite nice. He just said, he says, sorry for getting back to you late. Thanks for the support, buddy. I know the guys appreciate it. Keep up the good work and look forward to seeing you on the circuit. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, top man.
Steve Jones scoring 49.